Hello! Hello, Texas! How are you doing? You know what? Danny Trejo and I go way back. Scary. 18 years. And I met him on Desperado in 1994. I've been going through the movie list today and remembering stories I want to tell you from each one of the movies, or some of them. I had in Desperado in '94. In the script I had a character called Navajas, and which means knives. And in fact, it started a couple of trends with Danny and I. Not only did he end up starring in 10 of my movies, most of them shot here in Austin, but it started this trend of us having characters that he played that were named after cutlery. So Navajas, in Dusk Till Dawn, he was Razor Charlie. Of course, he's Machete. Next, it'll be Danny Trejo is Butter Knife. That'll be the next one to complete the set. Anyway, in the casting session in Desperado, I remember him coming in, and I was looking for someone really ferocious, and Danny walks in with that face that you could rock climb. And I just thought, I didn't even ask if he could act. I just handed him the knife, and I said, start practicing with this. And he got up and he walked out. I didn't need to know if he could act, because it was going to be all about that amazing presence. And this is the first thing that impressed me about Danny, was when we got down to Ciudad Acuña in Del Rio to shoot Desperado, is that, the star of the movie was Antonio Banderas, and the town didn't know Antonio. They all thought, everyone saw Danny, and they thought he was the star of the movie. So I'd come find Danny surrounded by fans getting autographs. He didn't even have any dialogue in the movie. And I said, Danny, and I could see something happening, and I said, Danny, look what's going on. They all think you're the star of the movie. And he said, I'm not? So on that set in 1994, I told Danny, I said, someday, I've got a character called Machete. This is 1994. I said, someday we're going to make that movie, because it's a really kick-ass character. You'd be the perfect person for that. So for years, we dreamt about that. And every once in a while, and then it got more often, Danny would call me all the time and say, when are we doing Machete? Machete is ready. He would talk to himself, and Machete is ready to be in this movie. Put me in, coach. The second thing that impressed me about Danny was on the set of Desperado is that he asked, what's the worst high school you have here in Del Rio? I want to go visit it. I want to talk to the students. Danny was an ex-con in his youth. He dedicated his life to rehabilitating others and being a real example. And one of the most impressive and just motivational speakers you'll ever hear is Danny Trejo. Because any school he goes into, they look at him. They look at him and know he's the real deal, and they listen to him. And that just goes to show that you don't make a mistake by falling down in life. You make a mistake by not getting back up and doing something about it, learning from that experience and teaching others. And that is Danny. That is Danny's life. And it just impressed the hell out of me. So why did I cast that guy in a Spy Kids movie? 3, when we're doing From Dusk Till Dawn, their behind-the-scenes crew was filming Danny, and I got a sense of Danny's character. In fact, that's all he would say in Desperado was, give me a line. Give me a line, coach. I say, no, because you're so sweet that if you open your mouth, you'll ruin it. I want people to fear you. You look like that, but you open your mouth, and out comes Bambi, so no. So we do Dusk Till Dawn, and I gave him dialogue in Dusk Till Dawn. Quentin still quotes you, lowly dogs! Bow your heads. And Quentin always quotes that. He loves how you made his dialogue sound. So when you finally spoke, you impressed the greatest dialogue writer of all time, Quentin Tarantino. Congratulations. But the amazing thing was someone was shooting behind the scenes of Dusk Till Dawn, and Danny was giving an interview, and on his knee was this beautiful little 5-year-old girl, his daughter Danielle. And seeing that juxtaposition of this ugly face in a beautiful way, with this beautiful little girl, I thought, I got to put him in a kids movie, because that juxtaposition, I said, you've got to be with Antonio, you got to be Antonio's brother, and you help the kids, and it changed his audience. He would come and tell me, you don't know how my fan base has changed. I'll be in the airport, and little kids will run at me. The parents, horrified that they've taught these kids, don't talk to strangers, and you're running up to the scariest guy in the airport. And he said the funny thing is seeing the parents' reaction when they come running to retrieve their kids. And the kids explain to the parents, no, this is the Uncle Machete from the Spy Kids movie. And the parents go, oh, I didn't recognize you. We're about to call the cops. And he was terrific in that, and 3 movies of those that changed his audience. Danny's been in over 250 films. I don't know the exact number because we've lost count. And just to give you a sense of how Danny does it, he called me once from Dallas, and he said, "Hey, I'm working on a movie here with Mickey Rourke." I said, "Oh, wow, that's great. What's it called?" "Man, I work. I just go where they point me." He didn't know what it was. He just said, hey, people say we got a movie, he's there. People say we have a TV show, he's there. That's why you'll see him on the most bizarre things, and in that way, he's become probably our most fearless actor. He doesn't even ask what it is, he just does it. So he doesn't think if he's even right for the part or not. He'll do it. He raises his hand, "Sure, I'll do that. I'll play a deer." Here are some of the things I've seen and heard of Danny over the years that are truly bizarre and I'll never see again. On Once Upon a Time in Mexico, we're there in Guanajuato, Mexico. I come out to film, and there's a huge crowd in the streets, and people are cheering. Okay, must involve Danny, and he probably has his shirt off. He's got these really impressive tattoos, and Danny liked to walk around the set with his shirt off. Gets a lot of attention that way. And it turns out he did have his shirt off. I walk into the middle, and this is where it gets strange. Danny's got his shirt off, and he's waving it like a flag. On the other end is Mickey Rourke with his Chihuahua. And in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, he has a Chihuahua in real life, and in the movie he has one, but that was a stunt dog. It was a trained dog. So the trainer is with his dog, and they're having Chihuahua races in the streets. And Danny's at the end like the flag girl. So that's one memory that stands out as I was going through it today. Is something I had never seen before from another actor. The second thing, and this is something that you don't expect as a director, so I'm not going to slight other actors by this, but it just shows more who Danny is rather than what other people don't do, is that I got a phone call from Danny, and Danny calls me all the time. In fact, I'm surprised my phone isn't ringing right now. He's always calling me. And he left me a message that said, "Robert, I just got the first residual check for Spy Kids. I thank you. My family thanks you. You've changed my life. Thank you." Now, I've never gotten a call like that before from anyone. I employ a lot of people. Never have since. And the fact that Danny does that shows his gratitude, his respect, and his humility. I don't want to get all sentido like my father, but I'll try to get through this next part. The third thing I remember was on the set of Machete. Now here Danny's been in over 200 films. In fact, in Heat, in 1995, Robert De Niro puts a bullet in your head. But in 2010, you were the headline. You were the star, and Robert De Niro was your co-star. And on his day off, I remember it was really hot. It was in August 2009. Hot day in Austin. We're filming out in the streets. Danny's day off. Danny's serving water and Gatorade to the crew. Because he knew that they were working hard for this movie, and he was there on his one day off, serving them water and serving them Gatorade. I've never seen anyone do that, and he did it again because of his humility and because he cares of people so much. And I know I'll never see that again unless it's Danny doing it again on the next movie. I have a little bit of trivia I have to throw out. No one knows this. In Sin City, Mickey Rourke plays the character of Marv. There's a lot of Mickey Rourke connections. And I remember wanted him to look just like the comic book. It's a very heavily scarred character, the character of Marv. And when the makeup effects guy showed me the first test, it didn't look ugly enough, didn't look scarred up enough. And I said, look, just take a picture of Danny and copy that and make Mickey Rourke's face look like that. So if you have a phone, just Google Mickey Rourke Sin City and look at that. That's Danny's face that Mickey Rourke is wearing. So Danny was actually in Sin City in some way. That was a bit of trivia for you. Now I'm going to tell you about Machete. This is how he came up with Danny's most famous movie line. Danny, again, calls me all the time. And he would say, when are we going to make this movie? For 6 years, he told me that, until we finally made it. And then when he was asking for the script, he was like, send me the script, Machete's ready, Machete's ready. And I finally just told him, Danny, don't call me. I'm sitting in meetings, the phone rings, I can't answer the phone, and I don't check my messages. Nobody calls anymore. Because that's just not how we communicate. I'm not ignoring you. Because I've been trying to get you for 2 weeks. So Danny, send me an email or send me a text, please. I don't pick up the phone. There was a long pause, and he said, Machete don't text. As I said, all right, that's pretty funny. I'm going to have to put that in the movie, and that's how the line, he actually wrote the line, as Machete wrote the line. And I'm sure in the next movie I'll have to say, Machete don't tweet. Machete was actually going to be a straight-to-video movie, but bigger names kept signing on. When Robert De Niro signed on, suddenly we got Michelle Rodriguez, we got all kinds of people came on. And so we'd already cast the lead female. It was a smaller, a new up-and-coming actress, but because De Niro signed on, we had got to cast up. So when I broke the news to Danny, I said, guess who is your love interest in the movie? You get to kiss Jessica Alba. And he got the phone, he calls his ex-con buddies, and he says, I get to kiss Jessica, what's her name? I said, Alba. He goes, Jessica Alba, are you serious? Wait, you're telling me I get to be in a love scene with Jessica Alba? The closest I've ever been in a love scene in a movie in my whole career was in Con Air when I almost raped Rachel Ticotin. That's as close as I ever got. And now I'm going to be in a love scene with Jessica Alba? I said, well, and Lindsay Lohan and Michelle Rodriguez. And he said, all right, Robert, I'm dead serious. You just make me a list, bro, of anyone you want hurt real bad, and I'll take care of it. And I said, are you serious? And he said, no, but you thought about it. He's a graduate from the San Quentin School of Acting. He called me once and said, I'm on the cover of Prison Life. Look at this amazing life I have, where I was like, con, and then I got to go do good. They're doing, ex-con's done good. I'm on the cover of Prison Life. It's a real honor. So I'm going to finish with this one last story. It's the one that stands out. Danny never forgets the second chance he got in life. On Once Upon a Time, Mexico, he came to the set one day and he said, you know what, we changed hotels last night. And I forgot where we were, and I woke up in this hotel, and there were bars on the window. I woke up and ran to the window and saw the bars, and I looked out and saw you all out there filming. Thank God for my life. Thank God for the day I have every day. Danny, you're getting the Honorary Texan Award. Texas just got a little bit bigger because you're in it now. Everyone loves Danny Trejo, and it's for a good reason. He's a great man. From ex-con to icon, let's see some of the work of Danny Trejo.